Oh, now Sith's crying. It's Wednesday. We have a sunny Wednesday.
We do. Thank goodness. I think it was supposed to rain a little, but that's okay. It's still supposed to be warm. So that's good.
I'm looking forward to it. I have some running around to do today, though my allergies are already upset about it.
And won't it help when it rains? Won't
It
bring the pollen down?
It usually does, but it was nice yesterday. So I left that big door in the store open, so it was blowing in, and I was enjoying it. And now today I'm like paying for it.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, right.
So good morning, everybody. The first question we have is from Gina, or I should say comment maybe. Gina says, I was told by a friend that the Holy Spirit told him smudging was bad. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, like I said, I'm a huge fan of smudging, but it's got to be done right. And I have to smile a little bit because when the Catholic Church cleanses before they do some of the ceremonies that they do, they don't use a smudge stick, but they put incense inside of that burner and throw that smoke all over the place. So no, I'll stick with it being good. I know.
That's what incense and myrrh really is for.
Yeah, right. So it's, and I think they use myrrh and frankincense when they do their cleansing with their smoke. So I think it depends on the nationality, the area, the region. And I'm like I says, I've never had a trouble using, smudge sticks. Never.
No, and actually, my son's father is Native. And, I kind of ran this past him. How many months ago? It was still late summer when we talked about the cultural appropriation of smudging, because I remember being out on the front porch. And the answer was, is like, if you're doing it respectfully and for the purpose, it's not a bad thing. It's only when it's done in a mocking gesture, and and they would rather people know the tradition than to mock it, make fun of it. So we have a whole bunch of good mornings. Oh, and let me let everybody know, because there was a comment about, it's odd. Why haven't they started yet? So perks of living in a small town. My power has blinked on and off 2-3 times this morning, which I should have enough battery on my laptop to keep going, but that doesn't solve the Wi-Fi problem. So if Marianne and I suddenly disappear, it's because the electric went away again.
It disappeared.
Yes.
So we'll have to reappear next Wednesday if it doesn't come back.
Right.
So just so you know.
So sunshine out there, but we have electric problems. So hello, Dana and Natalie. Let's see, Patrick. We haven't seen Patrick for a couple of weeks. Hello, Patrick and Sandy. Let's see. Oh, and hello from Hong Kong. Question is, my grandfather died years ago, and every time when he comes into my dreams, he appears to be very regretful of how he was when he was alive. Does that mean he went to hell?
No, not at all. But obviously, he had some learning to do when he crossed over. And so that might be weighing him down a little bit, but he'll get through it. He's probably regretful of what he did because now he's got to make up for it where he's at. Mm-hmm. And you do something bad or wrong or sketchy, karma comes around. So that's probably all it is. But no, the dreams that I have never, ever dreamt of anybody in hell, ever. So I don't even think that's an option.
I should apologize to people. I smirk and laugh because I'm reading the comments before they go up, and sometimes we have some really fun.
I know. When I see that, I'm thinking, oh boy, here it comes.
Melanie excuse me, asks, can a spirit survive on a boat?
They can go anywhere they want. Of course they can. Cruise ships are full of earthbound spirits. Just it's a hotel floating on water, and hotels and motels are full. So yes, again, they can go anywhere. I even took a portal out of off of a cruise ship. So yeah, definitely.
That makes me wonder, because I've always heard, kind of a joke and kind of seriousness, that it is cheaper to continually book tickets on cruise ships than it is to go live in an assisted living home for elderly people. And you figure you have your room, there's medical staff on board, there's meals all day and fun things to do. So then I wonder, well, how many of the ghosts on the boat are just old people having a damn good time?
Well, I did see them, and I can't believe you even brought that up, because the YouTube tonight at 5:30 is about a very posh 5-star nursing home on Long Island that I did. And you would never have known that that was any kind of a retirement center, nursing home, anything. It was unbelievable. It was like one worker for every 2 patients, which is not even heard of in a nursing home. So, but I think it's curious that you brought that up, because that's what we're talking about tonight.
Oh, and see, Melanie says that there is one harassing my parents, and they're always hiding their things.
Is this in a nursing home or their house? What is she referring to?
I think maybe she was meaning nursing home.
Nursing homes are full. They're full of men ghosts waiting for their wives. Always. I mean, you see a woman every now and again, but let's face it, most nursing homes or nursing facilities are filled with women. We live longer than men. I mean, and if you ask a man, we kill them. So that's why we're there. But so when the husbands die, they're just there waiting for their wives. I have to laugh, though, when I see that, because I think, were you guys this loyal when you were alive? Or is it now just that you're dead, you're waiting? So
these days we'll have to get Ted's opinion. Let's let the husband weigh in.
Oh, he'd be the first to say, I'll die first anyway, not to worry. So, and he's not sticking around. He's going to go right to the light. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah. He knows I can take care of myself. So
we love you, Ted.
Yeah. I can't do it without him, but he doesn't have to wait for me to go to the light.
And now we've been waiting. Guess who's back?
Oh my gosh.
Lewis is back. Yay.
So if you can tell us, I would like to know, how do you break a hand? What did you do?
Oh no. And Lewis, I'm going to put something up for you at the end. So hang in there, buddy. So yay, we have Lewis back, and Lewis is getting his own fan base. So we're missing Lewis and our side commentary. So welcome back. We're glad you're back, buddy. Let's see. So Sim says, hi, I have been trying to call Marianne for a year and still no call from her.
Okay, number one, anybody that is trying to call me and for over 3 or 4 months, I am not getting the call. I would definitely call. Nobody has waited a year for me to call you back. So if you're trying to call me and you have not, and I have not called you back, I am not getting your call. You need to write to me. Do not write on Facebook, on Twits, or whatever that is. I don't read any of those. And the store doesn't know who you are, and I don't get those. Sometimes, somehow, my webmaster gets them, and she sends me some things. But that's too hit and miss. If you need to talk to me, you need to write to me. All my information is on my website. So I'm not ignoring anybody. I just haven't gotten the message.
Okay. Oh, poor Lewis. He goes, wait, I never told you I broke my hand. Or did I?
He did. Remember, that's you wrote and said that you broke your hand. That's why you haven't been on. Those drugs must be pretty good.
So Susan says, I would like to hear more about why and how a spirit or spirits can cause depression and anxiety. I think some are draining my son. This is pretty urgent. He's had lots of treatment and it's not helping.
Okay, an earthbound spirit does not need to eat or sleep. It needs human energy to keep going. So if you're constantly drained of your energy, you're tired all the time. If you're tired all the time, you start getting sick. You start getting depressed. If your son has an earthbound spirit around him, maybe that's really affecting him badly. There was somebody that showed up at the last event at your store with her daughter who definitely had a ghost attached to her. And you got to be careful, because if that ghost died violently or was murdered or suicide or drugs or alcohol overdosing, that could have an effect on your son. Plus, the other bottom line is, with earthbound spirits in the house, your meds are never going to work. You're constantly taking more than you need, or the doctor's saying you got used to these, let's change them, and they still don't work. So that is how it affects a person physically and or mentally.
Mm-hmm. And there's that fun cyclical, and can speak a little bit on this because of my son who has depression, anxiety, that it's this fun little circle of the depression can cause you to be tired, but then tiredness also causes the depression. And so it just keeps kind of going. And if you have an earthbound continually kind of draining that energy, now it's kind of making it even harder to get out of that cycle. So, that whole, which came first, the depression or the exhaustion, who knows?
Equal.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've said many times, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm going to say 3/4 or almost 3/4 of people that are in mental institutes do not have to be there. They've either got negative energy on them or they've got a ghost attached to them. And what are you supposed to do, though?
Right.
I can't take on the whole psychiatric mental institution mob of people that are out there. It's got to be an individual thing that has somebody, a loved one, that needs to see if this is what the problem is. Or if there is a mental illness, let's make sure the meds work. If you got a ghost, they're not going to work. So it's a catch. It really is.
And by no means are we saying quit taking your meds and get a Quincy.
Oh my gosh, no.
Keep up with your doctors, keep up with your meds, but this could also be something that would help,
Right. And a lot of times, as it turns out, people that usually are on meds from some kind of a mental depression or anxiety, they see the doctor fairly regularly, or Zoom or whatever it is you do. Mm-hmm. And at least once I've cleared out the house and there's no ghost around the person that is not feeling well, usually they have an appointment within 2 or 3 weeks after I've done the house. So the doctor can lower your pills if it has to be lowered. You just have to be aware of there could be a problem there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hello, Kathy. Kathy's joining us. You want to take a guess on how Lewis broke his hand?
As long as he didn't smack somebody, it'll be okay. Oh, no.
And it's funny that you use the word smacked. He smacked it on his
knee. My gosh.
Is there video of this dancing? We would like to see.
Yeah, unless it's the, what's that one? The achy breaky, is that the one that you boot scooted to or something and smacked your butt and everything? I don't really know because I've never done that in my life. But you either. So I don't know. It's been a rip roaring time.
We need a night on the town with Lewis. We have to follow Lewis around and see what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think he has way more energy than I do because I'm usually in bed by like 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's just done with people. Like I can't
if I don't, or I take my nap on the recliner at 8 to 9 and then go to bed so that I'm rested to go to bed.
To make the trip to bed, right? I mean, literally, I'm sitting below my bedroom and literally my bed. And there's nights where I'm like, oh, it is so far away. It's so far.
Got to get up and go up there.
Let's see. So Sim said, I had my house cleansed a couple months ago, but still are having sexual dreams. They said there's nothing here, but I feel like there is.
Okay, so you're obviously the person that wrote before and said that you've had a message out for over a year. So you found somebody else to come and do it, which is fine. But if you're still having problems, then my two suggestions to you would be, number one, call them back and tell them to come out and do it right, because they obviously didn't do it if there's something there. And I would have no way of knowing, again, if anything's going on in your house without talking to you. So you've got to write to me so that I can see what's going on.
Oh, and by the way, that dance you were referring to is the Macarena.
There you go. That's right. I have. Thank you so much, because I'm so not up on that stuff.
He was doing a pretty flamboyant freestyle.
No comment.
And hello to Gregory Nicholas, one of our friends there. Let's see. So the next question was from Sue. It says, morning blessings. What is your opinion on sleep paralysis? There we go. Caused by a possible ghost or other negative energy sources?
Well, on one of my YouTubes, you can go back over the list. I did talk about sleep paralysis. And a ghost, if it's in the room with you, an earthbound spirit, it can cause you more to have vivid, loud, technicolor dreams that wake you up. That is actually more than the sleep paralysis. However, go back to what we just said. They are such an energy drain on you that some people, when they hit the bed, they just die. I mean, they are totally out of it because they're so exhausted. And in a way, that can cause sleep paralysis. So it can be part of it, but probably not all of it. More with children and sleep paralysis than adults.
You know, that's something I've never really experienced. But then again, I'm out, like a tornado can go through and you're not going to wake me up. Though I have the weirdest dreams of people I've never met, things I've never thought of doing. It's really weird. Mr. Miyagi, hello. We haven't seen you in a little while. Glad you're back. Do you have to smudge portals more frequently? Such as like every 6 days? The cats are starting to track things.
Okay. If it's the week working up to a full moon, which is this week, there's a full moon this Saturday. So if you have been told that you've got a portal, definitely the week of a full moon or around a new moon, smudge at least every 2 or 3 days. Remember that once somebody comes out of a portal, they can't stay any longer than a day and a half or 2 days, and they pop back in their portal. But that doesn't mean that somebody isn't waiting to come in as soon as this one leaves. So you could keep having one different creepy person come out at a time. So if you smudge, especially where the portal area is, then something's going to pop his head out and go, no, 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 I don't like the energy in here. I'm not coming out. It's not closing the portal, but it's putting a Band-Aid on it. So you're not getting somebody come in. Pardon?
It's like whack-a-mole, but with a portal and a smudge stick.
That's right. There you go. There you go.
Let's see. So Sarah, hello, Sarah. She's new and joining us. Welcome to our shenanigans on Wednesday mornings. She says, hi, I am new here. My grandmother passed a few years ago. I believe she stuck around, but now I have an infant and I think she's talking with him. Is there any way for me to know what she thinks about my son?
Couple of things. Have you or anyone in your family had a dream of grandma that was a nice dream? She would have looked younger. She would have been happier. She would have looked content. If somebody has had that dream, then that means she has crossed over. Now, spirits that crossed over can come back and forth and visit. They don't cause any problems, except if you've got a monitor in your baby's room, one that has viewing on it, and you see a lot of orbs flashing on the screen or around the crib or the bassinet. Orbs are people that have crossed over and are there to visit. And if the orb has a design in the middle, if you can make that larger, you can usually see a side profile or a face of who it is. If the orb is blank, it's a dust particle. Now, when a new baby is born, every grandmother, great-grandmother, grandfather, great-aunt, godmother, anybody that's crossed over come to visit the babies because they like babies. So what you have to do, if you see that on your monitor for the kid's room, all you have to do is go in there and say, hey, one of you at a time can come and visit him. You got to leave him alone. They have to listen to you because they are from the light. Now, you never want to talk to an earthbound spirit because all you're doing is giving them more energy. I'm saying talk to the ones that are in an orb and tell them to get away. But beside a phone call from your house or you getting on Zoom to see if something is actually in your house, I would really have no way of doing this. But that's a pretty common problem with newborns. Up until about 2 years old. And then some of the grandmas still stick around after that to play with them. You know, a lot of times when you're holding a baby or you're looking at a baby, you're looking at them, but you can see them looking past you. Who are they looking at? It's usually somebody that has crossed over and is trying to get their attention. So, but that's what's going on. Again, I would have no way of knowing if it's grandma or not, but you would have to you'd have to call.
And I mean, if they are crossed over, if she is crossed over, then finding a good reputable medium to do that communication, which is
too, right.
Yeah, which is different than just seeing the earthbounds. So let's see. And this is where our buddy Lewis can help chime in. Hi, Marianne. How can earthbound spirits change clothes? Where do they get the clothes from? Or is it junk they think of an outfit and boom, they're in it? Or is it just that they think of an outfit and boom, they're in it?
I have no idea where they get clothes from. I wish I knew. I joke and say there's a Dillard's in the sky. Where do they get cigarettes? Where do they get pipe tobacco? Where do they get cigars? I've even seen somebody smoking weed. Where do they get it from? I don't know. They won't tell me. I just get a smirk. So I guess that'll just be something I'll have to see when I die because I don't know how else they do it.
I can't wait for our fashion show. All the bling.
All of it.
Yes. All the clothes, from way back when that I can no longer fit into because life happens. Different size at 40 than I was at 20.
Well, yeah, that's the truth. But you saved those from 20 because you're going to get down that small someday.
It is a poor source of motivation, let me tell you. It wasn't motivated hard enough. I'm like,
no, it's like you need to go to a wedding, but you wait till 3 days before because you know you'll lose 20 pounds before you have to buy an outfit to go to the wedding. Yeah, no, never happens.
No, it's time to let that all go.
Right.
I don't have the energy to do the whole goth thing anymore. No, this is as close as I get anymore. I just wear all black. Let's see. Oh, Mr. Miyagi had said that he kept a Quincy on the portal, but he had moved it. So that could maybe be why it's being a little more active.
Right. If you put the Quincy over where the portal is, that will definitely stop anybody from coming in through the portal. Absolutely.
Can you lose weight as a ghost? Because Lewis would be a skinny ghost. Me too.
I wish. No, the only thing is you're the same size as the day you died. But
I need to go run.
I have to, yeah, right. So people that were really sick for a long time are obviously thin. So you will be a thin ghost if that's the way you die. If you're a chubby person and you get hit by a bus and you die, you're going to be a chubby ghost. So it just depends. The only really good thing is that people that have missed or had to have legs amputated or missing parts and pieces, that the body is what's missing, that the spirit is always whole. So anybody that's lost a limb from an accident or whatever, your spirit will definitely be whole.
Let's see. Adam says, hello, Marianne. Thank you for your Zoom meeting. I have my mortar and pestle. I ordered my smudge sticks today. They'll be here tomorrow. Just need to find someone to do the cleansing ceremony, though, because unfortunately, that's not something that can really be done from a distance.
Right. I can't do that. And I do remember you from Zoom. Thank you for coming on. Actually, I think you were the first person I talked to on Monday night. No, second person I talked to. But yeah, the negative energy, you do have to find somebody. There's got to be somebody that you can find to do it. I don't know how to find somebody for you. I mean, you're going to have to be the one to do it. But once that's taken off of you, I think you're going to see a big difference, Adam. I really do.
So in regards to, having missing body parts back, Sandy says she doesn't want her tonsils or her pendants back.
No, I don't know about those. I'm talking visual, missing a leg from a diabetic or losing an arm or somebody that got parts and pieces blown off when they were serving in the war. Their body will be whole. I don't know. I don't have appendix and tonsils or gallbladders, and I don't need those back, I don't think. So.
And Lewis says that he will make sure to die at the gym.
Oh, there you go. Oh, so it's going to be okay. They're going to say, oh, he's one of those healthy people that died at the gym. Or when somebody is jogging and they die, they go, see, I told you jogging isn't good for you. So,
especially if you get hit by the Guinness truck.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So Roberta says, last Friday, I was walking along the dairy aisle. I can't talk today at the grocery store when I remembered what you had said, Marianne, about there being a lot of ghosts in grocery stores. A minute after I thought that, a package of cheese flew horizontally off the shelf, landing about 30 feet away. I'll never feel the same in a grocery store again. Thankfully, she was wearing her seat charm.
Good, because it didn't hit you in the head. So that was a good thing, probably because of your charm. That's the truth, too. People are so used to not paying attention that there's so much that goes on that you really don't see. You're immune to seeing it. I mean, you walk by a shelf in the grocery store and 3 boxes of cereal fall off. You were nowhere near that shelf. And you just think, yeah, well, whatever. But who knocked them off?
See, my thought would be, oh, somebody on the other side of the aisle shook the shelf, and it's so easy.
And that's right. People are logic. They want a logical answer for it. But sometimes there's not always a logical answer.
Have you seen a group of earthbound spirits having a party or playing tricks together on people in the streets?
I have seen groups of earthbound spirits, but not in houses. One of the exceptions are children. Children ghosts do tend to stick together, but kids like kids, whether they're alive or dead. The other place that I have seen a lot of ghosts were in an Indian reservation. That was one of the places that I went over these years that actually still had the Indians fighting the soldiers. And so there were ghost horses and Indians and military people. And that is so uncommon. I was shocked when I saw that. I really was, because I had never seen that. When I go into a house now, and if there's more than one person, they will come. I might see one standing in the living room looking in, or one standing from the basement looking in, but they still don't come in the room together. Somehow that affects their energy. I don't know what, but it does affect them. So no. Do some of them play tricks on people? Oh yeah, but it's usually just a single person doing stupid stuff inside somebody's house. The one that I can really think of is that I cleared this house and the husband and wife were fighting so bad. And he was probably a size 38, size medium white t-shirt that he would wear. And he walked out of his bedroom holding a size 46 t-shirt that had been folded up and put in his underwear drawer. And he was positive that his wife, who was his little bitty thing, was having an affair with somebody that was a size 46, and that she accidentally washed and stuck his undershirt in with her husband's. She'd have to be pretty silly to do that if she was actually doing that. But it was the ghost that did it. She was not having an affair with anybody. So yeah, they like to do things like that, hide things, make you think you're crazy. Because then it turns up 3 hours later where you looked 5 times.
Yeah. Kind of like the St. Joseph statues in my yard that would go missing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're on some kind of fault lines. There's something wrong with your property. I don't know what it is.
Oh, fun times here.
Yeah.
Though my friend Nikki also says that my house now, since everything is settled down, that it's only creepy in that there's nothing here because it is so. And I'm like, but it's great. And she's like, it is, but it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Well, yeah. I had some lady, and a woman in her 50s. I went and cleansed her house, and it was like 3 days later, she calls me. And she said, I can't stand it. She says, this house is so quiet now, I hear air. I said, you hear the air? She goes, yeah. I said, turn on your TV. I have no idea what you're supposed to do for air.
Go get a white noise machine.
Right. I don't turn the radio on. I don't know.
So Lewis says, wouldn't it be iconic if I dropped dead at a Weight Watchers meeting?
Oh, he's just so full today, isn't he?
He's got to make up for last time.
Right. I guess. Well, that probably wouldn't make Oprah very happy, seeing that she owns Weight Watchers. But what can I say?
Oh, so that's why she's the now like spokesperson all over that. She owns it, huh?
Yeah. Oh, she owns part of it anyway. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's fun. So in regards to the cheese, Sandy was never in aisle 7. So we can't blame Sandy, which is a little joke we had every time something fell over, and then she told me the movie. So now I find myself.
Oh, okay.
I was in aisle 7. So let's see. We got some new questions and comments coming in. So EC Holmes says, hello, Marianne. I first heard you on the radio years ago. I took what you said and realized that I could sense spirits using clairsentience. So many thanks. And you're getting ready to go on the radio again.
I am. For those of you that are Coast to Coast fans, I will be on Thursday, the 10th, the 8th of April. And of course, he's in LA, so that starts the 8th at 10 o'clock in LA, even though I'll be on here local like 1 o'clock in the morning, the time change. Plus, Lewis, Coast to Coast, goes to across the pond. I mean, Coast to Coast goes everywhere. So you might be able to actually hear me on Coast to Coast with George Norrie if you're a listener.
Sandra asks, are earthbound spirits more likely to pick on people with schizophrenia or other similar diseases?
Anybody that is actually diagnosed with something like that, couple of things. It stresses the person out themselves. It stresses the family out. I mean, look how stressed is when somebody is in hospice. And so anything where anybody is putting out more energy, whether it's from worrying or you're going to have earthbound spirits around you. Yeah. And that's why a lot of times, and I know people that go into drug rehab and alcohol rehab, they are not allowed to have any jewelry with them, which is really too bad because they would get better faster if they could have the Quincy on them so no earthbound spirit can get close to them because they don't want them to succeed. So, but yeah, it does make it worse. And again, any pills or meds you're taking for that are not working. And if you've got something that's diagnosed correctly, your meds have to work. And they're not going to do it if you've got an earthbound spirit there.
Let's see. So Adam says, I have a large Mary and Joseph statues in my front yard, and apparently they aren't keeping the ghost out. No, they don't really do that. Saint Joseph, though, is supposed to help sell your home. Seems to work for everybody else.
It worked for me. So, but in Saint Joseph, he's a remarkable saint because if you carry a medal of Saint Joseph on you, you will never die in a plane crash, a fire, war. So any of you that have anybody that's fighting or in battle anywhere, send them a Saint Joseph medal, and that they won't die if they do that. Believe me, I have St. Joseph medals in every one of my suitcases. I carry one in my wallet. I mean, I wouldn't get on a plane without a St. Joseph medal, believe me.
Sarah says, we swore up and down there was a ghost in our old apartment. We had a fan that would turn on at random times, and it constantly moved our keys. Sounds about right.
The key word here, Sarah, is apartment. Mm-hmm. Anybody that lives in any kind of a unit that has more than one family living in it, condos, apartments, townhouses that are connected, earthbound spirits love those because they can go from one unit to another wherever there's more energy. They just love hanging out in that places like that, and they're usually very full of earthbound spirits. That's not uncommon.
And apparently so are Airbnbs.
Yes, because we know that too. And again, you consider that like a hotel. Hotels are full. So, of course. And that's why when we do the hotel, the ghost walk next month, everybody should be able to get some good pictures and what have you. Just remember, if any of you are coming to that on the 10th of April, bring a film camera, not digital. because you will be able to get better pictures with a film camera, one of those disposable throwaway ones, than you would a digital or your phone. So that's just an option.
So Maureen says, thank you so much for these live chats. I look forward to this as often as I can attend. I have a dream bag now, but do I need to sleep directly where it is under my pillowcase?
No, you can absolutely stick it underneath your sheet. Like lift up the corner of your fitted sheet, put it underneath where your pillows go. It just has to be under your head area. If it's under the sheet and you have 6 pillows on top of it, it would still work. So you don't actually have to have it in your pillowcase. A lot of people have accidentally washed and dried it. You know, when you change pillowcases, you don't think about it. And by the way, they still work if they go through the washer and dryer. And a lot of people don't like the smell of the mugwort and the other items that are in that. So a lot of them will put it like in a Ziploc bag, and they still work even if they're in a Ziploc bag. So no, but you don't have to have it right under your head. No.
Peyton. Hey, Peyton. Says Marianne, love the spirited evening Zoom with you. It made me feel more confident, less afraid about what to do with the spirits in my home. P.S. My boyfriend is in rehab and he can wear jewelry. So we need to get a seed to you, Peyton, to send to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see what's going on.
I'm glad that, you have an idea, a plan of what to do for those little ones in the house.
Yeah, you've got the 3 kids in the house, so you have to be aware of that.
Yeah, they're adorable. I've seen pictures. Let's see. So EC says, the other day I reached into the freezer section of the grocery store to reach for some frozen blueberries. Suddenly a packet of another frozen fruit on the shelf hit me. I remembered what you said about spirits in stores. Minutes later, I sensed the spirit in the same aisle and called it out. It left. I don't know where it went.
Well, a lot of times they don't want to be caught, and so they will scoot around and go someplace else so they're out of your vision or your sense of them being there. But maybe they liked the fruit better that they threw at you than what you were planning on buying. That's just a possibility.
So Renee, hey Renee. Someone claimed you can put a glass of water on a table and light a white candle next to it and let it burn until it's gone. That's the easiest way to get rid of ghosts that I know of. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't understand why that would even work. I have no comment on that because I've never heard of that. That reminds me of when, oh my gosh, the medium with the long fingernails.
Oh, Caputo?
No, she's dead now. Sylvia Brown. Okay, so she was on, and I don't remember his name either, the Black Man's TV show. He had a talk show, whatever his name was. I forget because I never watched it. Montel, right. Okay. And somebody in the audience said to her, how do you get people to go into the white light? Her suggestion was this: light a candle and tell the ghost that's in the room to jump into the flame of the candle and they'll go to the white light. So I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, really? And in all honesty, no 2 people butter toast the same way. So things work different for everybody. I mean, what works for me maybe doesn't work for somebody else. However, I'm religious enough where fire is held to me. And if I was earthbound, there is no way I would jump into fire because I'm not going to hell. So again, everybody's got ideas on how things work. Find something that works for you and stick with it. I don't know. Renee, do you seriously think if your father was in the house, he would jump into a flame, a candle flame? Not your father.
Like, I'm just even trying to think of the physics and metaphysics, and like, I can't piece how that would work.
No, I don't understand the water and the flame. I mean, two of those things, of course, go with astrology, but that has nothing to do with earthbound spirits.
I mean, if that was the case, why are there so many haunted campgrounds with all the campfires all over the place? And, you know,
drinking, maybe not water, but there's always liquid. I don't know.
I kind of want to message my shaman teacher and be like, let's brainstorm on something here real quick.
Information by next Wednesday, but I've never heard of that. And I'm sure there's 10 million things I've never heard of, but I've never heard of that one. And now, an AM state, Montana, Minnesota. I think that's where Renee lives, is in Minnesota. And maybe they do things different in Minnesota. I don't know.
Well, and I do know that some of the more folk traditions, like usually glasses of water, is to collect negative energy, not necessarily ghosts, just negative, energy. And that when you see the little bubbles, it's collected and you pour it out. But I haven't heard of that for ghosts.
I've never even heard of that for negative energy. Mm-hmm. I think it's just easier to cleanse the house or smudge it or something than it is to, do that.
So when you were trying to remember the name of the medium with the long fingernails, Adam thought you meant Elvira.
Oh, no, Ted would know her name for sure. Believe me. No, that was Ted's. We actually went to see her many, 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 many years ago. She did a live performance in Cleveland.
Oh, that would have been fun.
She was a hoot. She really was.
Let's see. Does wearing 2 Quincy pendants simultaneously give you more protection than one?
Nope. 1 is good, 2 isn't better. And that's why people that have to wear, I mean, it's in your car, it's on you, your house is protected. You don't need any more than that. It's not going to make it any stronger. Just like when they pop or crack because somebody's trying to put negative energy on you or there's a ghost around you, they still work 100%. Even if they're pulverized, they still work. So no, 1 is good, 2 isn't better.
And they all do, because Adam asks if they all have bails, and they do. They are meant to slide onto chains, cords, and the bails are nice size, so you don't have to, unless you have like ginormous,
chain. But no. And for people that now they don't fit on a Pandora bracelet, but if you take the charm to your jeweler, he can put a big enough jump ring on it to fit on a Pandora bracelet if that's what you wanted to do, because some people have done that. So, and I don't know if a charm fits on yours. Yours is similar to a Pandora, isn't it, Melissa?
Yeah. I would have to try. But because I have a little nightmare before Christmas.
I think that one's probably too fat to fit on there.
It might be. I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Peyton asks, she's going to be smudging this Friday since her littles will be out of the house. Does she need to start in a certain spot where clockwise? I'm seeing different info. And that's the thing about the internet. There's always contradictory.
There's always, yes. Okay. Personally, I start at the top floor and start on the highest that you can go. If you cannot get into an attic or a space above there, take the cover down and get smoke up in there. Just start when you first walk in the door, start on that wall. When you get to the closet, open the closet, get smoke inside the closet, close the closet door, go out into the hallway, go into the next room. Do the steps down, do that to your first floor, attach garage, do that, then go down to your lowest level and make sure you do all of that. People start down and go up. It's whatever is more comfortable for you. I say do the top first so that you can wait 2 hours and open up the windows and air the house out. It's just, you can do it faster than waiting, if you do it reverse. So, but no, you can do it. But this business of waiting until a full moon because you have to go outside the backyard and spin around 3 times naked and say they are Father backwards, no, not really. That's not going to do a blessed thing. Some people say you have to use an eagle feather to spread it around. Why? You're getting the smoke around. Why do you need an eagle feather? The only thing that I seriously suggest is carrying something under the smudge stick so the ash doesn't fall on your carpet or your floor, because I've been tried to be sued once already for somebody burning their carpet because I suggested a smudge stick. Like, really? Like, hold your nose when you jump in the water too. I shouldn't have to tell you that. Come on.
So Lewis is listening to an online class while listening to us. So Lewis, what are your questions on class? We'll help you answer them.
And what kind of class? I would be curious.
Right? Kathy asked, and I don't see it, but I did read it. She was asking if you need a seed for every room in the house, or is one good for the whole house? But it's over the doors.
The queen seeds go up over any outside doors that go directly to the outside. Fireplace, well water, if well water comes into the house, like the door that goes into your attached garage is not an outside door. The garage doors would get the seeds and the service door out. So, but no, the only exception, and there's always exceptions, if you have a student that's in college, a kid that's in college, and he's in a dorm, and he's on the first, second, or the third floor of a college dorm, I give those kids seeds for their windows, because college kids use their bedroom windows as doors if they're on the first, second, or the third floor. I learned so much. So that's why they go on those windows, but normally windows do not get anything on them, no.
And then there was also the question, and I don't see it now to put it up, but it was, the question was, can you smudge a boat?
You can. You can smudge anything where you can contain the smoke. You can close windows on a boat or the doors on a boat. A rowboat, yeah, no, not so much. I mean, you need to, but if you're talking about a boat that has walls that you can contain the smoke, yeah, you can. And there are other ways to clear negative energy off of a boat. If you have a rowboat or something that doesn't have walls on it, a speedboat, if it's got negative energy on it, when ghosts speak, the last chapter in this book tells you how to clean stuff like that. So you can get the negative energy off by doing the ceremony and clear your boat. You can't believe, and it'll be, especially after I'm coast to coast on the 8th, truckers listen to his show because it's overnight. And how many people listen to the radio in the middle of the night? Think of the different jobs where it would be on. But truckers, especially long-haul truckers, you cannot imagine how cursed. Well, I bet you can imagine how many times people curse a truck on the highway. So some of these truckers just automatically once a month just do the ceremony on their truck to make sure that their truck is safe. It's so easy to do unless they carry a seed in their truck. Then they don't have to worry about it.
Would they need to do the cabin of the truck and the trailer? Like if they have a consistent trailer? Because what if there's somebody that's constantly changing the trailers? Like how does that work?
Well, a lot of the truckers now actually own their cab. And so they just have to pick up the load. So yeah, it's usually okay. But I wouldn't worry. If your cab is secure, then I wouldn't worry about what you're hauling. That should be okay.
Never would have thought of that though, you know.
People will do that when they buy a used car too. Because you don't know, was it really the little old lady that only drove it to church on Sundays? Or
True.
not? You don't know who really owned that car. I don't care what that little fox says on TV about checking it. They lie too. So,
Right. It's all about selling the car.
that's right.
So let's see. Adam asked, is it better to smudge on full moons?
No, I don't think so. I think smudging works no matter what. The problem is that this is the week they have more energy working up to that full moon. So this why I suggest, and that's how some people keep track of when they should smudge. The full moon and the new moon are 2 weeks apart. So if you smudge the day before a full moon or on the full moon or the day before a new moon or on the new moon, at least you're doing it on a regular basis. Some people do it on the 1st and the 15th. Some people do it when they pay their rent and then do their car payment. You just have to get into a routine of doing it. And once you are in a routine of doing it, it's like no big deal. But it's amazing how well it works.
Your favorite question.
Oh, boy.
Sarah asks, how safe are we? I've always been scared to use one to communicate with my grandma in case it's not her I'm talking to or inviting anything evil into my space.
You're right, Sarah. Don't use it. You will be inviting something in that is not your grandmother. I just, no. Just stay away from Ouija boards. I have said this, 16, 17-year-old girls, when they were in high school on an overnighter, sleep over at somebody's house, pull out a Ouija board. Some stupid ghost comes in there, and here's these little girls. Who am I going to go to the prom with? How many babies am I going to have? Who am I going to marry? Really? Why would some ghost know that? But here they are in their 50s and their 60s now. That ghost that they called in on a Ouija board when they were 16 is still with them. And their life has been hell. Divorced 4 times, never married, can't keep a job, sick all the time because of the ghost that they picked up on a Ouija board. Stay away from Ouija boards, seriously. And anybody that does pendulums or anything like that, you're calling people in to help you with that also. Learn how to protect yourself before you do those things. If you protect yourself, you'll be fine. But I have figured out no way how to protect yourself when you're messing with the Ouija board. As a matter of fact, houses that are totally cleared by me and the seeds are up for protection, but if somebody comes in with the Ouija board, they can blow a portal open with the Ouija board if they get somebody nasty enough coming in on that. So beware.
I had to unmute myself. Maureen asks, can I use garlic sea salt to cleanse my blue aventurine stone? I don't have plain sea salt. No.
I don't think so. If you don't have sea salt, just use regular table salt.
Sunlight.
If you
sunlight.
And stick it out in the sun. Exactly. Actually, you want it to be in something that you can stick on the ground between the sun and the earth, so that don't sit it on a porch rail or something like that, or the steps. Try to get it where it's on the earth and then let the sun shine on it. But no, I wouldn't try the garlic. That's for vampires.
So we still have our vampire episode.
Yeah, I
know. Yeah, sunlight will cleanse, recharge pretty much anything, which is why moonlight works, because moonlight is sunlight reflected off the moon.
Right. Yeah, go figure.
And the moon is always full.
Right. Somewhere it's always full. That's right.
Yeah, sunlight. Although here's a little a little addendum. If you have a stone like fluorite, soft calcite type stones, eventually sunlight will bleach it. You don't have to leave them out there a super long time, but sunlight will cleanse just about anything for you for free.
And if you're going to put them outside, put some kind of a net over the top of it, because birds will carry away your stones, especially if you have any crows or ravens around your house. They will definitely pick them up. So we're squirrels, by the way. So just try to do something. Yeah.
Let's see. So Susan asks, if there's an earthbound spirit who died a terrible death attached to someone, is it dangerous to cleanse the house and use a wand? And I wonder if she means a smudge wand to cleanse the living person's energy.
No, that doesn't hurt at all. You can absolutely do that. And it will, again, back off who's ever attached to that person. And what the smudging does is make your earthbound spirit very lethargic, very laid back. They do not retaliate. I know there's a bunch of Ghostbusters out there that have TV shows that say that they retaliate. They do not. So you can do that.
To do it.
That's exactly right. So no, but no, you don't. That's fine. And seriously, Native American Indians equally use a smudge stick for earthbound spirits and negative energy, just not the spirits. Smudge stick really does help clear a lot of negative energy out of a house.
Mm-hmm. So Lewis wants to know if you've ever came across a dramatic spirit.
Came across some actors that were dead. Oh my gosh, who's the one I ran into on the set of Ghost Whisper? I don't remember. Victoria Barkley. What's her name? Thank you. Barbara Stanwyck. She was very dramatic. I mean, she stood there and her head cocked and her hand on her hip and just waggling her finger around. So she was very, very dramatic. There was Myrna Loy I ran across in a theater. She was, she was weeping. She says, "I'm so happy to see you," and she's crying. And I'm thinking, wow, she's a really good actress. Because I'm thinking, really? You made the choice to stay and now you're crying about it? So, but yeah, some of them, same personality they had when they were alive. I imagine that when Cher dies, she doesn't cross over. She'll be singing somewhere.
Like a proper wailing spirit. So maybe the one you just said, the boo-hoo stuck now.
Right, exactly. No, the wailing that they used to do many, many, many years ago, they used to have wailers at funerals because apparently the more somebody cried for you or carried on for you, the higher you got more points and you went higher in heaven. If people were missing you that much and crying, that's why way back in the old days, they had all these wailers in funeral homes, or when the person was laid out in the parlor, the person was still wailing there too. That used to scare me when I was 4 or 5 years old. Those people screaming in the back of the room. That person standing next to me that was the ghost, never. That person in the back room screaming with the veil over their face, oh yeah, that scared me.
That's something out of a Tim Burton movie.
Just they did it though. They did it. And these people made a living doing it. I mean, they charged the family X amount of money to come in and wail for an hour. And depending on how loud or how dramatic it was how much they charged. Some people just had 2 or 3 people that just sniffled and cried a little bit. And then you had people that were almost rolling on the floor crying. It's like, oh, no. I don't need to see this.
No. So I can see myself doing this on purpose. EC says, as a security guard at my university, I slammed the door and scared a bunch of students playing with the Ouija board. It was funny, and the students were scared out of their wits.
And there you go. The energy that they're anticipating talking to a ghost is enough to set them on their ear. So, by scaring them, there was a man that he was a hairdresser and did a lot of work for him. And he had a lot of friends with alternative lifestyles. And he wanted me to come and do his buddy's house in sort of a sketchy neighborhood outside of Cleveland. So I said, well, yeah, if you meet me there, I said. So Ted and I went on a Sunday, and his friend was there, and the house was, from the outside, you would have never known what it looked like on the inside. It was magnificent on the inside. Some people just have such a wonderful knack to decorate and everything. Yeah, not me. And so, and his name, the hairdresser's name was Eddie. And so, and his pal's name was Paul, I think. And so I was in the kitchen with Paul, and he had bought a whole bunch of Fiesta stoneware. And for those of you that are old enough, it was that pretty heavy glass colored dishes. They used to come in all different colors. And he had them like decorated. I mean, the inside of his cupboards looked like a magazine. And so Eddie is standing by the open door to the basement. And Eddie's going, what does he do to him at night? Is he standing right next to him? And he's like really trying to aggravate the ghost and to scare Paul. So I'm just looking at Eddie and I'm thinking, I need to teach you a little lesson. So I'm talking to Paul, and Eddie pops up again and says something, and I turn around and I look at Eddie and I said, Eddie, don't freak out. And he goes, what? I said, but that ghost is standing right behind you now. He went screaming out of the house because this ghost was standing behind him. And Paul looked at me, and I said, there was nobody behind him. I said, but he was being so mean, trying to scare you. See how he likes it. So,
Marianne.
There was a reporter, a talking head that I did for an interview when Ghost Whisperer was on. And we were at the studio. And it did happen that he had a ghost attached to him, and the ghost was from his hometown, some obscure hometown in some place out west. And so, and as I'm looking at him, talking to him, I'm sort of looking over his shoulder because the ghost that was attached to him was like standing right over him. And he sort of caught me. He goes, what are you looking at behind me? And I said, where is Carter Cemetery? And he just stared at me. He said, Carter? I said, yeah. And then the ghost said what city it was in. And he just stared at me. He says, how did you know that? And I says, well, the ghost told me. I says, he's been with you since 1972. He's another one that went screaming out of the studio. He went screaming out of the studio. Some people, yeah.
Such brave people.
I know.
Well, Andrew asked, other than a quinceed, are there any other recommended items? Wow. To carry, asking for a friend who works as a hospice cancer care registered nurse at a hospital.
Well, again, the charm is worth somebody like that wearing it, especially any kind of a medical person at all. But if they don't want the charm, get a misting bottle and put a couple tablespoons of sea salt in the misting bottle. Blessed sea salt if you can get it. And get dressed. And as you're walking out the door that day to go to work, mist the air and walk through it. So it sort of settles on you. Or if you wash your own clothes, some hospitals wash the uniforms, but if you take care of your own laundry, throw a handful of sea salt in the rinse water so that it's on your clothes. That's good for paramedics, for firemen, for cops, anybody that is in that type of an iffy job. But if you, like I said, if you don't want to wear or use a Quincy, that does help some. It's not as good as the Quincy, but it helps a little bit.
Mm. Peyton asks, are spirits attracted to things like white noise machines? And why does there seem to be more activity at night? Is it just because it's quieter and you can notice it more? And can they cause headaches?
Okay. You're right. Because the house is quieter, there's no TV on, there's no radio on, there's no dryer on, there's no air on, and the house is quiet. And that's why people hear these things more at night, even though they happen all day long. And I'm assuming that a white noise machine is something that has to be plugged in. Mm-hmm. So, yes, they can mess with it. Anything that's electrical, they can mess with. TVs, radios, anything like that, computers. And that is one of the signs that an adult will have if there's an earthbound spirit in the house. Unexplained headaches when you are at home. You're fine when you're not in the house. But when you're at home, adults will be unexplained headaches or lower intestinal problems. Those are the two main things for adults. Kids, ear, nose, throat, upper respiratory. That's their problem. And of course, again, being tired all the time.
So we're a little over 11. So we'll go to our last two questions before we do our wrap up. Patrick says, Marianne, do earthbounds feel real to one another? Can they touch each other? I know they don't like to be around each other, but if they shake hands, can they actually feel it?
I think they can, only because that group of kids that my daughter Tara ran across on the college campus, the little girl, there was like 6 of these ghost kids, and the little girl grabbed her brother's hand and was holding his hand. So because of that, I'm going to say yes. I don't know otherwise, though. I guess they could. At least they would feel the energy. There's no flesh because they're all energy. So I guess they could feel the energy from one another. That would make sense.
Right. And the whole thing of why you don't find the adults versus the kids. Kids are smaller. Maybe they're smaller little battery drains versus an adult that needs more. And
right.
All the things we have yet to find out when we finally get over there. Right. And then who are we going to come tell it to? Like, we have the answers.
I know that when I die, I'm going to have a letter written. It's going to be one of those things when I know I'm dying, I'm going to write it. So that'll never help if I'm ever in a car accident. However, I am going to write that because I know so many people, and I know so many people that do a lot of metaphysical stuff, that I could just at some point, well, I'm channeling Marianne. Let's get some information. I can assure you, nobody will ever channel me when I die. I'm going to the light, and I will be coming to my kids and my husband in their dreams. Nobody else. So,
hey.
No, I will meet you when you come. I will greet you when you come. But no, I am not going to be in anybody's cards. Not going to happen.
I feel neglected already.
Yeah, well, you just have to get over it because it's not happening.
I'm going to go pout now. After Lewis's question, you said you hear spirits telepathically. So do you have to connect with them to hear them, or do you just have to see them and be around them for it to kick in to work?
No, I can be in a house like the house I was just in recently. There was a creep from a portal in there, and he wasn't in the room yet. I knew he was there, but I could already hear him talking before he walked into the room. So, yeah, I can hear them. I don't have to see them. I can hear, because I can't hear them on Zoom, and I can't hear them on the telephone. But I still can see them. I have to be with them to actually hear them. And anything I say out loud in a house, they hear. I mean, I don't have to, like, if somebody says to me, well, ask him this. Well, he just heard it. I don't have to repeat it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever see them go, like, I'm right here? Like,
it's like, what is wrong with them? I've answered that 6 times already. I don't know where anything's hidden in the house. I've never seen them hide anything in the house. Well, I know there's something hidden in this house. No, there isn't. So not going to happen.
Now, how many parents who have passed away have you seen bop their kids upside the head that maybe they didn't feel it?
Oh, that you'd be surprised. He's a jerk. He's gotten older and he hasn't any better yet. He must take after my wife's side of the family because our side was smart. Oh yeah, no, they still do that when they're earthbound. Hopefully, they become better, sweeter, nicer, gentler people when they go to the light. Hopefully, or they have a lot to learn, one or the other.
They'll be in that processing area a little bit longer.
That's right. That's exactly right. So. Okay, I need, and Ted, we're going to go get our second COVID shot today.
Woohoo! So our next Zoom is April 16th. Here is the link to join us. Feel free to come on in. It's $20. You will get to ask your 2 questions. Marianne can tell you if you have ghost, earthbounds, which are ghosts, portals, negative energy, rather than waiting the weeks to find out. If you need to call and leave Marianne a message, here is her phone number. And we're going fast because Marianne, I feel like you got to go like now. If you would like to order Quincy's, Dream Bags, Smudge Sticks, Blessed Sea Salt Soap, what else is on there? All the things that are Marianne. Here's where you go. Lewis, I need you to email me. Because I cannot send you a
important, Lewis. Email her. She has a very important question to ask you. Email her.
If anybody else has other types of questions that aren't Marianne related, you can email me here. I've gotten a few other questions, and that's perfectly fine. But the Antlers Hotel event, April 10th in downtown Lorraine, that is $40 a person. Marianne will do her paid lecture, and then we get to run around, ghost hunt. Marianne will tell you who is where to aim your camera. Best to bring the old-fashioned filmed kind, better to catch ghosts.
There's steps in there, too, right? So people should wear proper shoes to go up and down steps.
Yeah. And the basement steps, the basement's nice size. The stairs to the basement are a little, not that keen on them. But there is plenty just in the regular walking area. And because it used to be a hotel, there's all of these little side chutes. And,
I think we're going to avoid the basement. I don't need anybody becoming a ghost in the hotel because they fell down the basement steps. No, we'll probably avoid the steps. So like you said, there's all kinds of spaces there and it's full. There's a lot going on there.
Yes. So Lewis says, am I in trouble?
I hope not. No, he's just trouble. He's not in trouble.
Really nervous. You can only get the Quincy's in the physical store when Marianne is at my store or at one of the locations. Otherwise, order them online. And they're really fast. Ted gets those out really quick.
And they will be at the Antlers too, if you're coming to that.
Yes, absolutely. And Adam says, hey, we're Lewis for men. We're always in trouble.
Well, you got that right, Adam.
And if you are Lewis, it would be the good kind of trouble. So
I'm sure he's got too nice of a sense of humor to be mean.
Right. Exactly. So feel free to join us either for the Zoom April 16th or Antlers in person April 10th.
I'm excited to be able to get out of the house and see people. This is so exciting. Right? I know.
Like this is what we do when we're not sitting behind.
Ask me another question. Don't you have any more to ask me? Right.
And once I have it confirmed, we will have the merry-go-round the ghost hunt walk at that one, hopefully still in June, but I still want to confirm that, and then we can start talking about that one. And there's some other ideas in the works for hopefully later in the year. So
forward to doing some good stuff.
Yeah, some fun. I think we're all tired of being cooped up, not being allowed to do things. So we'll have some fun stuff for everybody to come do. But thanks for joining us. We will be back next Wednesday, same time, maybe different coffee mug. And bring your questions. Come join us. But thank you for joining. And Lewis, email me or you will be in trouble. And
okay, everybody, have a really good week.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.